Eastern Carolina's live news leader. This is WPDE's Action News 15.
Good evening, I'm Lilli Shaw.
And I'm Bob Howick. All eyes are focused on Hurricane Hugo at this hour as the storm continues its steady track toward land. In just a few moments, Tom Searles will be talking live with the National Hurricane Center Director Bob Sheets. But first, our team coverage begins tonight with a look at local preparations.
Current projections say Hugo could strike the Grand Strand in about 48 hours. Clay Williams spent the day in Myrtle Beach.
US 501 was crowded with vacationers heading west instead of east. Sarah Dunn and her family is beach bound, but only for repairs to their camper.
But you're not afraid of Hurricane Hugo?
No, not as long as he stays out.
Pelican Building Supply is doing a brisk business.
For sure, it looks like it's coming this way, and so we're getting ready for it, so we won't have last-minute preparations necessary.
You gonna nail these up as soon as you get home?
Probably tomorrow morning.
We're going to be boarding up some doors and some windows. Try to protect it from the storm coming. Hopefully it won't come, but if it does, we'll be ready.
Myrtle Beach Air Force Base is also gearing up for Hurricane Hugo. 56 A-10 aircraft are being readied for departure.
We've made the decision that tomorrow at around 1 o'clock we're probably going to evacuate our aircraft. And about lunchtime tomorrow we'll decide whether or not we're going to evacuate the personnel as well.
Hugo has already proven he can kill. That's the main reason why people are taking this storm more seriously than others in the Grand Strand's past. In Myrtle Beach, Clay Williams, WPDE, Action News.
What happens if the storm does slam head-on into our coastline?
Sue Abrams is live now on the Grand Strand with a report now from our team coverage on Hurricane Hugo. Sue?
Well, Bob and Lily, when a storm the size of Hugo approaches, many people pack up and leave. But that might not be so easy in Myrtle Beach.
If Hugo hits the Strand with enough force, many folks will have to flee the area altogether. And with the area's highway situation, that could be a problem. Even on an average business day, traffic on 501 gets congested, and that has officials worried because this is the primary evacuation route.
We're limited on highways into the Grand Strand area. We have Highway 501, we have 90, we have 544, and Highway 9. We really don't have much to pick from.
Both Myrtle Beach and county police officers will be on hand to help with traffic flow. Harrison says that may be their only answer.
One thing's in our favor. We are past Labor Day. I think with our local law enforcement officers setting up traffic control points, it won't be any problem.
Now, if you anticipate leaving your home, Harrison gives these hints. Number one, leave early to avoid traffic jams. Make sure your car is gassed up and in working condition, and know the evacuation route closest to you. Following these rules could save your life in an emergency situation. In Myrtle Beach, Eric Chilton, WPDE Action News.
Horry County officials met today to talk about storm shelters. They were choosing which 10 buildings will be primary places for folks to seek refuge. Red Cross Executive Director Ron Ward says although those locations are known, they won't be given to the public until it's deemed necessary. He says most everyone has a shelter within 5 miles of his home, and Ward cautions folks, if the time comes, bring blankets, pillows, and necessary medical supplies, even some water, but not too much else. We'll have more shelter details on Action News at 11. Well, experts are now predicting the lasting effects of a hurricane, and we take you now to a place called Wither Swash.
The beach is forever changing, but a serious dose of strong winds and high water could alter some areas beyond repair. It may be hard to believe, but this trickle of water could become a raging path of destruction if Hurricane Hugo hits. This is Wither Swash in Myrtle Beach. Right next door sits a Holiday Inn where management is taking things day by day.
We are keeping on top of things, and we're watching what this thing's doing, and if it ever does, when it does get to be a threat, we will do whatever is necessary.
The Swash is filled at high tide, flowing under a bridge and across the street, but high tide could seem mild in comparison to hurricane water levels.
Low-lying areas are definitely subject to being flooded, and you put the wave field on top of that, so you have 6 or 8 feet higher than present, and then put 10, 15-foot breakers on top of that. You've got a lot of inundation of low-lying areas.
Garden City and Murrells Inlet would also flood severely, with the possibility existing inlets in developed areas would swell with extra waters and burst, forming new inlets. But at this point, all Grand Strand folks can do is prepare themselves and hope for the best.
Of course, right now it's still anyone's guess, but for more details on Hugo, let's go back to Florence.
All right, Sue, thank you very much. Our own Tom Searles is keeping a close eye on Hurricane Hugo's path.
Tom joins us now with the latest details, and Bob Sheets, the director of the National Hurricane Center. Tom?
Well, thank you, Lilli and Bob. So far, so good. Things are really beginning to pick up right now. A watch has just been issued by the National Weather Service for the coastline all the way from Cape Hatteras well to the south of our viewing area. Joining me now, as you already mentioned, is Bob Sheets, live from the National Hurricane Center in Coral Gables, Florida. Thanks for joining us, Bob.
Okay, my pleasure.
All right, first thing I want to get to is that the watch has just now officially been issued. What can you tell me about it?
Well, I think one thing is we have to be careful exactly what where we're forecasting the center of the hurricane to move across there. The graphic here shows the hurricane force winds, the tropical storm force winds, and we see the probabilities are essentially the same from Jacksonville all the way through the Wilmington area, 19%, 21%, 15%. So indeed, we can't really zoom in on that yet, and we'll have to do a little more of that when the hurricane warning goes up tomorrow.
Okay, what time do you expect that to happen?
It'll depend on how fast this storm moves toward the coast, and so we'll try to provide that at least 24 hours before the center is expected to cross the coast.
Okay, Bob, so at this time you still can't project exactly an hour that you expect it to hit mainland regardless of where it comes?
No, if it moves on this 17-mile-per-hour speed that we have it right now, it could come in there sometime early Friday morning, at the earliest late Thursday, at the latest sometime mid-Friday morning.
Okay, Bob, the big thing that everyone along the Grand Strand is really concerned about, we keep hoping for a miracle, some sort of weather system to push this thing out of the way. What are your views on that? There's a high-pressure ridge to our north. What are our chances?
Well, we don't think that's going to happen now. We think that indeed it is going to move somewhere into this coast here that is not going to recurve, and that's reflected by the faster forward speed that we're seeing, and essentially all our models are in agreement on that now.
All right, Bob, we appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to join us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, it looks as though things are going to take a few more hours to get together before we can give you an exact projection, but for now, the watch is issued. It will be posted and standing by, and I'll have a complete look at Hugo for you in just a few minutes. Back to Lilli and Bob.
All right, we'll check in with you shortly. Right. Still ahead on Action News, the inland areas of the state are also preparing for the possibilities of severe weather.
And we'll continue our team coverage on Hurricane Hugo next.
Thanks to the Carolina GMC truck dealers for helping bring the Arthur Smith Johnson King Mackerel Tournament this year.
Your Carolina GMC truck dealers invite you to stop in and see the complete GMC truck line.
You can hook a beauty.
Great trucks, perfect for anything you can think of. Camping, hauling, or fishing.
I like this one because there's lots of room in back for piling in those 40-pounders.
GMC trucks.
This year, join the fun in a new GMC truck from your Carolina GMC truck dealer.
GMC trucks, where the fun starts.
I heard about Lee Chiropractic through a co-worker out at Francis Marion College.
I had a pinched nerve in my left leg and was suffering some paralysis in the toes of my left foot.
He put me on some therapy with some little electric diodes. That was very good, felt like a massage.
He was very careful in coming to a diagnosis.
Well, I'd been to other chiropractors, but none had treated me the way he did, and none had really gotten to the problem and solved it like he had.
He and his staff were both very, very efficient.
Now, make live local news, weather, and sports a part of your lunchtime routine. Now, the Wpde TV15 Action News team brings you up-to-the-minute local news every weekday at noon. You won't see another midday talk show. You'll get live local news, hard-hitting sports, and the kind of weather coverage that's made TV15 the recognized leader in weather reporting and forecasting. Live local news at noon every weekday from the only news team with a commitment to bring you local news from early morning till late at night. The Action News team, only on Wpde TV15.
Friendly Ford is dealing like the good old days. The prices